William Angus was injured in May 1915 in the knee. Shortly afterwards he was sent back to the trenches and took part in a nighttime raid to try and disarm a machine gun post. During the sortie, Corporal Angus's commanding officer, Lieutenant Martin, was injured. They thought he was dead, but the next day they found out, they could see that he was still alive. Corporal Angus decided that he would want to save his commanding officer, Lieutenant Martin, because he was a fellow Carluke man. Corporal Angus came from Carluke, but his commanding officers wouldn't let him. He pleaded with them and eventually was allowed to go. He went out into no man's land, travelled some 64 metres, remarkably unseen by the German machine gun soldiers, and rescued Lieutenant Martin by bringing him round with a drop of brandy, managing to get him back to the Allied lines or the British lines, but was spotted halfway and unfortunately sustained over 40 wounds, many of which were serious. He lost the left eye and part of his foot, but however he survived. He lived until 1959, and every year his commanding officer whom he saved, Lieutenant Martin, sent him a telegram remarking on the 12th when the rescue took place. Described as the bravest act of the First World War, and for his bravery, Corporal Angus was awarded the Victoria Cross. Most of the young people have never acted or been involved in behind the camera, in front of the camera before, and the result is quite remarkable.
I play Willie Angus in the Bravest Rescue. His role has taught me a lot about society and how you need to look after others when they're struggling, and you don't leave them by themselves because we're all in this together. We all need to work together to help each other.
Being a nurse in the First World War would have been a really horrible experience, I believe, because you would have had to guess who would have made it if you were transporting them to a hospital. So it would have been really difficult to look at someone and know that they needed help and just know that they're not going to make it, and I think that's something that would really have affected a lot of people negatively, I would say. But at the end of the day, it was their job, and I think that's how a lot of them got through it. Like, it's my job, I need to make people better, and I've got so much respect for the nurses that did their work.
So Major Blunt lives up to his name very thoroughly. He is, as the name's so in nature, he's very direct. He provides that sense of humour that I think would be needed probably in those times, because it was such a grim situation in World War I that I think he would probably have liked to have seen himself as a bit of a shining light in the darkness for all the grim dirt and grime that goes on. I remember sitting in those trenches and thinking, this is what it was like, this is what it was. If I was given the opportunity to go and do something like this again as a job, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Visitor for you, Angus. Young chap you went to so much trouble for.